hello again. It is now the end of the year. It is 2016, and in place of a end of the year, how did we did do kind of thing, I decided how about we go ahead and implement that with a game. So since we all know that 2016's been pretty horrible overall, I decided how about we make this lovely game that I have titled 2016: The Hidden Horror, because it's basically been a horror story. So we're going to go ahead and start out with making the maps, because this game is going to be a little bit more complex than what I normally do. So hopefully it will work out properly, but we'll see. Um, so the concept for this is we have a little village, we have a main character. The main character goes and interacts with a sequence of events. Those events occur, and then the village updates depending on those events. And throughout the different seasons, the various aspects of the village will update depending on the various events that are occurring. And then at the end of the year, we basically see what we get. So it's going to be interesting because there's a lot of dynamic selection and dynamic event processing that I'm going to have to figure out how to implement. I have an idea of how to do it, but I am not entirely certain if that's going to work with the ways that this version of RPG Maker implements it. Like I said, in the earlier game that we were working on, I'm used to VX Ace. This is now RPG Maker MV, so things are a little different, but this should be fun. So, bear with me as I try to put things together, and let's go ahead and get started with the maps. So first off, we've got this generic map here. Let me actually go ahead and create categories here. As soon as I remember how to do that. Cool. Okay, that did set it right. Yeah, there is no information on this one at all. That's okay. And so essentially what we're going to do is have a couple categories here. First up, we're going to have the village. So let me call this the village. Then we're going to have, let's just go ahead and call this, what do I want to call this? I'm just going to call this games. Um, so the way this is going to work is simply, first we're going to create the village. And actually, let me clear this all out because it's a little messy. There we go. That's okay. One moment. How do I want to call this? So we have. I'm just going to go ahead and call this, heaven, because I can't really think of another way to phrase this. Or no, I don't want to call it that. I want this name to actually match what it is that I'm looking at. No, this is like really. I'm trying to pull the different pieces together. I'm trying to think about this. I do kind of want this to be the games section, and I will just call this the Ethereal Realm because that seems like a good name for it. So we'll have these different categories. The village is going to be the village maps. The games is going to be the games maps, and then the ethereal realm is going to be like heaven, hell, whatever other interdimensional realms we need for whatever. Um, like I said, this should be an interesting game. So we need to edit this and make this a bit wider. I'm just gonna double this for now. Just make it straight 34. This is gonna be kind of big, and I will change. I want to go with the outside map. There we go. That's a bit more useful because down here there should be. Where is it? Here we go. These are the components for building castles and stuff. The no, not the ranges. Here we go. We can start to build things with this. I may have to go with a different one though. Give me a second. We're kind of missing a few things here. Let me see. I'm pretty sure this is going to be just not quite what I'm looking for, but well, that is a little bit nicer in terms of castles, but I'm looking for generic village. Uh, Again, I'm used to the tile sets that the earlier version of the game has, so I am lacking a little bit on what exactly is where. I remember there being a whole bunch of really useful little things for a village. There we go. We're going to start out with spring, and let me think. I am thinking blue for spring, red for autumn, wood for summer, and snow for winter. So we'll just arbitrarily go with that. We'll use these bits here to make the buildings. I do need to make the field. Let's see which is maps. Uh, there we go. There we go. We now have a green field. I just want to make a couple buildings. Let's see. What kind of buildings do we need? In our little village? That's a really good question. Let's see. This looks like it's appropriate. And then I just need a door. Where is a proper door? I normally use the door from these kind of things because they look right. And of course, this is the one time that totally does not work at all. There we go. That looks a little bit better. So we've got our first little hut. Make a slightly larger hut up here. Actually, I want to go with this one for a bit. And I'm going with these walls. And this entrance. I'm actually going to make this a slightly larger complex, if I can do that. And I got that backwards, didn't I? There we go. We need a double one here. Does it really have to be like that? Why are these not equal? This is not working right. Or is it? Haha! Found it. I knew I'd figure it out eventually. And we'll go ahead and cap this off over here. This large structure over here is going to be whatever this building is. Like I said, I'm kind of winging some of these parts here. Cool, it is still the right size, so that's good. And we're going to go with this wall over here. And we're going to go with this doorway. And I do need a little special something in the corner if I can find what is the thing I am looking for. Is there? I know in the older version there was the lovely, very generic rock structure, but not seeing a good rock structure here. I do need, there should be, I need a wooden fence. Those are signs. What happened to my wooden fences? Come on. Fence post. Let's see if this works. Oh, perfect. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, turn this little area over here to grass. And then we're going to have let me see. Do I have a top for a building like that? Not really. But I can kind of wing something here. So what I'll do is uh, first we'll make a little graveyard because we're going to need it. Like I said, this is basically a horror story to match the way the year has gone. Okay, these are a little hard to see, but this should work out. I do have a fence post here. Actually, I want to put another building over here. We do need a building over here. This is going to be the little church. Dark entryway. I do actually want to open the back here, because that makes sense. I should have just enough space to do this. Hopefully that's a passable hole, but we'll see. Or do I need this one? No, that's a window. Do I have anything that looks like a rock? Mm, what looks like a rock? This stone should be okay. And I'll just put an entrance in here. Nah, that's not working. Let's try this again. What do we have up here? Oh, I like that rock. Okay, stone wall. That is this wall here. There should be a waterway here. And that's why I'm getting this all messed up. That's the wrong kind. There we go. That looks so much better. And is that really gonna do that to me? Yeah, they do that. Stone wall. Hopefully that works out. Actually, boulder would probably be better, because then I can just use a generic rock wall. with a generic rock top and put a nice little canal down here. And kind of want to put little rock something around there just to that road. That's not working at all. Let's just reset that. I did kind of give myself a little bit too little space over here. Uh, let's see what we got. What can I do to have rocky area down here? Actually, I can just put there. So people just walk up and have this neat little waterfall. I want I wonder if it'll let me do it. Keep hitting that. Let's see. Leave the doorways. We're on this one over here. As you can see, a little something special is going to have to happen to get through there. Ooh, this is perfect. This is where the grave markers are. I was wondering about that. I'm going to have to clear out a few of them. Let me see if I can get this a little bit cleaner. I need to come up with a better pattern for this. Actually, I may want to go with events for that, but at least I found these. So I've got a couple little places. Do I have something to mark this with? Oh, I got stained glass windows. That'll totally tell people that, hey, that's a church. That's cool. Now, how do I show that this is an inn? Basically, this is going to be an inn and a bar, linked together. The other thing I miss is all the little signs that this used to give you. That was always fun. It's having just a ton of just. Oh, here they are. Random signs. There's the inn, and here's the bar. And let's see, what do we have here? what would we have for a general store? I'm just gonna go with that because that looks kind of like a store. There we go. I think we have the basics for our little village. Go ahead and save this so far. This way we have space for random other stuff down here. We're going to copy this and we're going to paste it. We're going to call this one Spring. Next, we're going to paste it. We're going to edit these to be a little bit more summer-like. Oops, this one here. But the idea is, very simply, we've got our village and it's going to be slightly different depending on which season it is. So right now, we have our spring. We're converting it into summer. Let me update all of these while I'm at it. Keep them all up to date. But yeah, this place is going to be feeling very different depending on which season it is. Let me fix this one here. That is essentially the concept, is we do want this to feel like a different village each time. And that's why I'm going to fill this stuff in. I should change that to wood, but I think I'm just going to leave it like that because that looks summery. I do kind of want to put some little thingies out front. Some nice little crops. You know, stuff that you would randomly find in the warmer months. Just cute little things. A couple bushes. And we do do that last one there. Yeah, that one still looks kind of meh. But yeah, I'll put two and it'll look better. Just a little something there. Ooh. Let me put some green crates out front. And let's see, what else do we have that can tell us that, hey, it's summer? Nice little palm tree. That may be excessive, but at least it's some kind of summery. So that gives us a generic theme of, summer. Plants are still green, so that's cool. And this map is set. Okay. Next up is going to be autumn. Actually, let me just copy this one. Copy, paste. And for autumn, we're actually going to use the red here. This way, we can just have each one of these be properly themed for the season. Let's see, two more pieces. There we go. Now we just need plants that show autumn, as well as crops. These are much. Uh, let's see, what else do we need here? There's still decent trees out in autumn, so we're going to go ahead and have these out. We're going to show the bush starting to look a little bit more interesting. I think that's pretty good for decorations for autumn. Ah, 1 second. How do I cancel that? There we go. And finally, the village in winter. I'm going to have to make quite a few changes for this one, but this should be a bit nicer. I'm going to have to change the underlying tiles. That could be a little messy for some of these, but I'll just change the ones around it. It's not too bad. Fill this in. There we go. And ground tiles. We're going to switch to, let's see how bad snow looks. That's a little bit too excessive. How about snowy road? It's a little too roady. How about too much. Let me see, how do I want to do this? I should probably update the other ones too. Because that doesn't show any edging, it just shows straight white. I need to at least make it brown. Let me see how this looks. I think this may be acceptable. Then I can just put in snow wherever I want. It does look a little bit better. I'm going to have to put, if I put the snow there, yes. I have a road. Actually, I can just put straight snow for all this. There, it actually does look a lot better. Now, this is much easier to work with. Frozen bushes are really easy to deal with. So I just need to add some frozen plants. So I'm looking for not grass, but actual bushes that are frozen. Let me update the snow to be this whole corner here. That way I can fit more little snowy things. I don't have snowy crates though, so that's kind of a blah thing, but uh, a little bit more. And there we go, we have snow. I should probably update the rest of that, but we're just trying to get a basic sense of this right now, so that looks good. We now have winter. So that is the first set of maps, just the village. Yeah, I need to update the back. Let me see if I can do that without making too much of a mess. I need to clear out that, re-add tops of these buildings. Same with this here, all the way across. Re-add the top of the building. Yeah, that's why I don't like doing that because I make a mess of it. But I need to do the side here. Let's fix the building. One more corner here. So at the very least, the buildings are set right. Next, I need to do these things here. The fence post. Ooh, snowy fence post. It is a good thing I'm doing this. Snowy fence post. And snowy fence post. Does this update the snow? It doesn't. So I do actually have to put the snow underneath. This isn't overly difficult, but there is a lot to keep track of. We're just looking at the maps right now. So this is just the first set of maps that we're doing right now. This is the villages. Yes, it is going to look like a very different village each time. And now I'm going to replace this with dirt. And I have to put the little angel back. Ooh, that's right, I got Snowy Angel now. I really should not be lazy about this part. It is kind of important. And then the big creepy thing. And I know there's a snowy version of this. Snowy Monument. I should probably just put snow under this. Let me fix that. I'm going to go with, first is Snowy Angel. Snowy Angel. Snowy Angel. Snowy Angel. Giant Monument. There we go. Winter. Ooh, almost forgot. The little thingies, these have to be cleared out because there are no more plants. I'm going to change the window style a bit if I can. I need single windows, come on. Not quite what I'm looking for. Maybe like this one. That fixes that one, definitely. Um, let's update the stonework first. Almost messed up on that. isn't a version of that without anything on it. It's kind of bothersome, but yeah, it's not gonna work. How about that one? That's actually kind of scary looking. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, that one's done. This I need to update as well. I was going to change this to, how did I do that? I'm not even seeing that one on there. Yeah, those are purple now. Okay, not quite what I'm looking for. Erg. Here we go. I do need to put a lot more dirt around. So I'm gonna go with, try dirt meadow. That looks a little bit more fitting. Okay, so I need to redo the crates. Thankfully, they're not overly difficult. But see, we got an empty one here. Not sure what that is, but it's there. There we go. I think that's good. So we've completed, at least for now, the village section of the maps. Like I said, this is going to be a very uh, complex game that we're making here. And starts out with a whole bunch of stuff over here. Oh, I can probably put tiny flowers. Yes, I can. Aha. Because this is spring, and in spring we have tiny flowers. Is there any seed pouches or anything there? No, there isn't. Erg. Okay. That should be a good start. Are there any little sprigs? Not really. I don't really have anything for spring plants, but that's okay. So, there we go. We've completed our first little session with this game. We've managed to create the village. So we have here in our village a general store, a pub or bar, whatever, an inn, and a little church, as well as a nice little graveyard, an interesting little what do we want to call this? Waterfall, as well as a mysterious little opening here. So that will help with what we're looking to do. This is our outdoor world. Um, we do need to set an actual indoor world for each of these places. So for each of these seasons, we're going to have um, uh, the store, the pub, the inn, and the church. We can actually just make the what's it called? The pub and the inn one giant structure. That's probably the easiest way to go about it, since I do have them connected. Um, Trying to think event-wise if we really need to have these be separate or not. I think what we may just do is just create, one instance of the church, one instance of the pub and the inn, and one instance of the store. I think that may be acceptable. This will be a bit more complicated, but I'm hoping that I can keep track of the state as we go through. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. I completely forgot that I needed to set that. So I'm going to add another map, and we're going to call it I guess buildings is like the best place or best way to call it. Let me move this up. Actually, I need it up here. Okay. This one's actually going to be an indoor place. So it's going to be a lot more specific. And the buildings that we need are store, um, pub and inn, and church. So let me go ahead and just create those now. Store, and I don't think it'll let me do a slash, or will it? Oh, it did. Okay. And church. I also kind of want to add secret cave to this. The reason for that will make sense, and this is actually going to be a dungeon style because of what I want to do with that. So that's the basics for our next section. Our next video, we will be covering the maps for the inside of the buildings. So we're going to do the store, we're going to do the pub slash inn, which we're actually going to make quite a bit larger if I am thinking this correctly. Yeah, that one needs to be set to inside as well. Oh, I missed this one too, didn't I? Inside. Actually, I may need to use dungeon for that. Simply because of what I'm going to have to set up there. I believe that the dungeon has the church-like bits that I can put in here. Or not. I may just be horribly, horribly wrong. But we'll find out next time. So for now, hope you enjoyed our creating the maps for our little village. And we'll see you next time. Okay? Bye.